Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks with Ben and Josh, streaming on the Kirk Minahan Show Network, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Timeout Talks is brought to you by Chase and Thrills Custom T-shirts and accessories, the Ice Shaker, Make It Mac, and, of course, a part of the Kirk Minahan Show Network. Josh alongside Ben. Ben, got a lot to talk about, and finally some good news in Boston. The Boston Celtics are moving on to the NBA Finals, Ben.
Yeah, perfectly said right there, Josh. Last week it was a little rough. Starting off with the Bruins news, that was a little harsher, losing to the Panthers and all that. Let's get that behind us. Let's go Rangers. I know everyone's not saying you're not supposed to root for the New York team. I'm rooting for the Rangers tonight. We'll get into a little bit of that game too. Rangers, nice little OT win, Josh. I don't know if you saw that game. Kind of a crazy game. 5-4 Rangers last one. Yeah, huge game. I don't know how the Panthers blew it. We'll get into that one a little later, but I'm rooting for the Rangers over there. But this week we're starting off with some great news, Josh. We did it. And and I'm just gonna throw this little side note in there too. Again, the maximum rest for Porzingis going forward. So this is, we just had to finish this one. We got to give him the max amount of rest time he can get before the playoffs. It doesn't matter whatever, Mavs are probably going to win this series, but now that just guarantees them that max amount. So I'm excited for that, Josh. I'm excited what they did without him. Especially Drew Holiday. Just got to give a shout out to him. I know we're going to give shout outs to everyone on this team all around, but Drew Holiday really stepped up. He's just showing you what we needed from some of these free agent signings, Josh. Some of these trades, all just kind of accumulated to this point in time. Drew Holiday he's the leader. He just showed you that championship mentality, Josh. You're just helping us out. And all these late game comebacks from the Pacers, against the Pacers, I should say. So I'm excited for this team. I'm really excited for what's coming up next, Josh. A little Kyrie, like I said, maybe I kind of previewed it last week. It was still obviously a little more uncertain. The series hadn't been played yet, but I said I like that storyline. Kyrie potentially returning, and that storyline looking like it might come to fruition. But Josh, before we get all that, just excited that we got it done. And this team's giving me a lot of panic attacks, Josh, in these games. We'll get into that too. It's just the Celtics. It's going to be a roller coaster every time you watch them, Josh. But they got it done this series, so I'm excited with that.
As you said, Ben, finally kind of getting over that hurdle. I mean, it just seems like an Eastern Conference Finals appearance every single year. I was looking at Jaylen Brown since he got into the league. He's been in the playoffs every single season. The worst he's ever done is got eliminated in the first round. I mean, that's pretty tip of the cap there to this team. I mean, I know we've talked about who trading this guy, trading that guy. They finally did it, Ben. They're finally here. Job's not done yet. Little Patriots reference there. Got to go out and get Banner 18. But before we do that, I could not let this go unnoticed. An icon, an absolute Hall of Famer, especially for the Celtics within the NBA, Bill Walton, passed away this past weekend. I didn't grow up watching his game, Ben, but from what I've heard from a lot of the old timers, from what I've seen, from just how the NBA feels about him, just a great guy, 2-time NBA champion. Really brought the tenacious, the last great center, I feel like, aside from Porzingis' game, that the Celtics have had. Just a true icon and definitely a sad passing within the NBA for sure.
Oh, yeah, just R.I.P. to Bill Walton. Very sad passing, Josh. One of the best, one of the icons of the game, like you said, just from college to NBA. UCLA legend with Kareem. It's one of the two best centers to ever do it. What's the NBA? I mean, he was a top 5 player, Josh. I know you kind of said you didn't really know, and I haven't really watched too much, obviously, game film on him and everything, but, he was a top 5 player back in the day. He led those Trailblazers teams. I'm not sure if they won a championship back in the day with that trailer. They did, yeah. That's why he was that good of a player, Josh.
He won. I know he won 2.
He won 2.
UCLA,
okay, perfect.
I'm pretty sure. 1 with the Blazers, 2 with UCLA in college. And Hall of Famer, 2-time NBA champion in general. I think 1 with the Celtics, 1 with the Blazers. Could be wrong.
Yeah, well, that's where he kind of reignited his career after sort of that Blazers championship. I believe there's the injuries plagued him. He was a big guy. The knees weren't holding up. He kind of just reinvigorated his game over here with Larry Bird and McHale. and that Celtics teams, those great Celtics teams, as all the old timers like to say, Josh. We affectionately say it. We affectionately call them the old timers. But yeah, no, just very sad news, and ultimately too for just going beyond basketball, announcing too. I'm going to miss him greatly on these 12 night games. I mean, he was the reason why he stayed up and watched some of these games. Obviously, get a little late game basketball. It never hurts, but I mean, had to listen to Bill Walton go crazy over there, and he was just he's one of the best announcers in the game. So just going to be sad not to hear him out there with Dave Pash calling those Pac-12 late night games. Pac-12 at dark. That's what they call it. He was just the best. So it's going to be a little sad that too, Josh. It's all around great guy from Bill Walton. It's just going to be sad to see him go. But great life over there, and just R.I.P. Bill Walton.
For sure, Ben. And I just figured, all this Celtics stuff, all this positivity, had to talk about this. He's a Celtics legend, and hopefully we can win, banner 18 for him. Call me corny or not. But yeah, back with the Celtics, I'm seeing one of comment here from Lucas, who having a really good point. And this has kind of been an interesting storyline. I know, as Ben was kind of talking about, we'll preview this potential upcoming matchup with either the Mavericks, who have a commanding 3-0 lead, or the Timberwolves, and we'll get a little bit more recap in there for that Pacers series. But again, as Lucas says here, the Celtics run has been labeled as quote-unquote easy, and yet true Celtics fans know that no matter who the other team plays, the Celtics make games more difficult. Couldn't agree with him anymore. Called playing down to the competition. Me and you know a lot about that, Ben. And I'll go quick here before I turn it over to you, but I heard you kind of just talking about finally being able to do this, as I was kind of alluding to as well earlier, the young Jays, Jaylen Brown, finally getting his moment. He's been crying about being the number one guy. He gets the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So, I mean, this is all or nothing. Everybody should be all in. And Ben, I know that it was a 4-0 sweep. Shout out to Mr. Tyler Mahar for this point, but this series felt it felt a little. The games were closer than it showed. I mean, last night's game. I mean, all besides game 2 was like a pretty much a nail biter. But they finally did what they had to do, Ben. And despite the road, I mean, hey, they're handling business, and that's kind of all I have for that.
Man, no, perfectly said from Lucas too. Great comment over there. I think you said that point too, Josh, in the beginning of the playoffs. I believe the Celtics' biggest opponent, we were talking about the biggest, the toughest test on the road for the Celtics, toughest team, 76ers, Bucks. And to Lucas's point, it's the Celtics. They were the biggest opponents to themselves. They always just shot themselves in the foot, got on their own way. And as this Pacers series kind of highlighted it, they pretty much did that in every single game. As you said, obviously game 2, the blowout. But I mean, I still don't know how we won game 1. I know. I guess I heard a couple of people talking about that too. I mean, hey, thank God. I mean, Pascal Siakam, hats off to him. He just went off. He killed every matchup we had on him. I mean, he just every time Al Horford was on him, I felt bad because I was kind of getting a little mad at Al for some of those plays, but I can't get too mad at him. He's a little older, but Siakam was just killing him. But a couple of boneheaded moves from Siakam, that turnover, to Brown, and then they were just getting in their own way, the Pacers. And obviously this past game, just blowing leads. Obviously, game 3, blowing an 18-point lead. I just don't even know how that happened. With 3 minutes left in the third, you thought you would crank down and sort of not push the ball as much, and they just couldn't get out of their own way, Josh. They just kept pushing the ball, and that's all they know. I think Haslam made that point and get up. That's all they knew. They just had to just push the ball. That's all they did. Play the pace. They just couldn't slow it down and actually sort of utilize those matchups that they had on us. I mean, hey, Nemhard, whatever his name is, that guy was just Nemhard. I mean, they had the guys, Josh. I mean, they had the guys that potentially could have been a 3-1 series. Like I just mentioned, the Siakam matchup was tough for us. They had the matchups against us. Then they exploited it for most of the games. It just when it came down to the crunch time, they just crumbled. They just turned the ball over, just stupid fouls, stupid turnovers, like what I saw from the Celtics most of these games. Nemhard had a couple ones just going to the basket. Jaylen Brown and Tatum making some huge defensive plays on a couple of ones. But the Pacers just kind of turned into the Celtics, Josh. And they just started making these boneheaded mistakes, and they cost them the series. Obviously, the Celtics' talent sort of dipped into that too. I think we're just a better team ultimately, even though this Pacers team is going to be a force to be reckoned with in a couple, and with these upcoming years, Josh. They got a nice little nucleus over here. we highlighted this Siakam trade last year. This sort of trade deadline season. So, I think they're going to keep him around. He's a great piece over there. And obviously Halliburton's just the key. So I don't think the Pacers should be hanging their hats on anything. It's just they're a young team. They're going to learn from this. And we're still learning from those mistakes, Josh, but I think ultimately it's our time. It's our time. If this isn't it, Josh, I don't know what is. And I'll throw another little question to everybody too. I know you sort of said it in there, but is Jaylen Brown deserving of that Eastern Conference Finals MVP? I heard a little stuff on the radio today. A little rumblings on 98.5. Some people questioning it and whatnot. So I'd like to see some takes on that. I'm just going to say, I'll throw mine out there. I think he deserved it. I think he deserved it. Obviously, big Drew Holiday guy, but I think ultimately Brown made big enough plays in this series to garner him that MVP, even though Drew Holiday was a very close second, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. Jason Tatum had a couple 30-point performances as well. Shout out a couple of the comments. We'll get to a couple of your comments in a second. But yeah, Ben, this, you just talk about injuries. And this is kind of going back to Lucas's point here. A lot of people saying the Celtics kind of, were able to weather the storm for injuries aside from the Porzingis thing. And, they just ran into teams that were plagued with injuries. The New York Knicks, they obviously we didn't play them, but that's a team riddled with injuries this season. Tyrese Halliburton goes down for the Pacers. Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen both go down for the Cavs. Jimmy Butler doesn't play for the Heat. Again, this is where I go back to my point of you finish the job. Now it's just finish it in the NBA Finals. And most likely, knock on wood, you will be playing a healthy team, whether it's the Timberwolves, who are somehow down 0-3 and they pull off the unthinkable in the NBA, never been done in the NBA, and they win 4 in a row. That's that. But aside from that, you're probably looking at the Dallas Mavericks, who are hobbled, but they're going to get some time then. And another interesting point that I kind of wanted to turn to you in a little bit to talk about. Nice little long break here for some of these guys. But again, I think Jaylen Brown is deserving of this. He showed out many times in this series, 30-point performance, 40, averaging 140-point game, averaging 30 in the series. Just unbelievable play from him. Felt like a lot at times he was kind of that number one for them and kind of proved me wrong, wasn't the detriment of the team in the past. You look at that Miami Heat series, you look at the Golden State Warriors, the turnovers for him have come a long way. We'll see what happens in the NBA Finals. But again, this Boston Celtics team, they did what they had to do. Aside from the Indiana Pacers, as you mentioned, they had to turn to guys like TJ McConnell, Andrew Nembhard, who, McConnell, great role player, kind of reminds me of a Pritchard. You're not going to get, and he played great, Ben. I'm not knocking him. But again, in crunch time, I'm not turning to Andrew Nembhard or TJ McConnell. I want Tyrese Halliburton out there. I want Miles Turner. I want Siakam. They didn't have their core. They did great, Ben. They went in, they did their trade. We'll give them a little participation award trophy. But again, it all comes down to this matchup that Jackson's talking about. I don't think the Celtics can stop Luka. And the more attention they put on him, the more it frees up Kyrie, who will be on a revenge tour. Interesting little take here. We've also got Charlie O'Donnell saying deserving for Jaylen Brown. Nancy, love you too. We've got Charlie O'Donnell won us game 2 and a bunch of good plays to win game 4. That is true. Got a lot of stuff here from the Celtics, and got Kindred Celtics sweep it now. I can get to bed earlier during this week for the next week. And that's kind of the point I wanted to talk about as well. We'll turn you to a 2-point question here for you, Ben. I'm also calling you James. Jackson here saying, I don't think the Celtics can stop Luka. And another point I wanted to throw at you. How do you feel about this long wait? If the Mavericks finish up tonight, we're looking at the 28th today. I believe there won't be a game until the 6th.
Yeah, the 6th. Yeah.
Or maybe the 7th.
No, I believe the 6th.
It's a long time, Ben, for a hobbled Mavericks team that could definitely use the rest as well as we could.
Well, talking about injured big men, Josh, Derek Lively, been a huge guy for them over there. He's already out. Tonight's game, they already ruled him out, even though Maxi Kleber been coming back to us over there for the Mavs, but that's not really much of a difference. Really, no offense to Kleber and everything. I know he's a good little 3-point guy. Might give a little, energy off the bench with that, but he's no Derek Lively right now. He's no Derek Lively. That's a good point. Good point from Hostage Take Curtis too on that. What about the Mather? I'll give you a little shout out for that one. Everyone's forgetting Matherin is on that Pacers team. We'll talk about that nucleus. They didn't even play without him, so everyone just bookmark that one. Bookmark that Pacers team for next NBA season. It's going to be one of the most exciting teams out there. They get one of those star rookies back on that roster. So look out for the Pacers, but ultimately for the Mavs, yeah. Derek Lively being out. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Here we go.
I'm throwing a lot at you, Ben.
No. I love how I see Dylan coming in there too, but ultimately I'm kind of torn on this Luka one. I think we can stop him. Yeah, I think we can with the Drew and Derek White combination. Ultimately, I do think we can stop him, but it just goes to Jackson's other point. I think the revenge tour is going to pick up, and Kyrie is really starting to flourish in this duo. That me and you were a little skeptical. I was going to say me and you. I think everybody was up until sort of this postseason where they've just kind of flourished together. But this is what Kyrie's supposed to do. He's supposed to just be the scorer and let Luka still run the show, but be sort of his Robin. And that's what he's been doing. He's been being a leader for everyone as well. He's pumping these guys up. As I mentioned with the Drew Holiday experience and championship pedigree, Kyrie's bringing that too. It was, again, he bring it up every show. I mean, hit one of the most clutch shots in NBA Finals history. Always with those long LeBron playoff runs. He knows what to do in these playoff scenarios, so he's helping out this young team in the Mavs. So ultimately, I think we can stop Luka. I'm not too, I'm a little worried about that. He's one of the best, top 3 player in the NBA. But I think ultimately with Derek White, Andrew Holiday, the way they're playing, Josh, I think they can stop him. I think we can stop that Luka production. But that's just Jackson's second point. It's just, I think Kyrie might have a little field day with us. So it's just all about sort of stopping Luka and just containing Kyrie and just containing him not to that point where he wins you that game. So I like that one. Josh. I kind of forget the second question. I forget what the other question was, but we're just going to keep going.
It's fine. It was basically just how do you feel about the long break? I mean,
I love it. I love it.
You like it? Okay.
Yeah, no, I started to tease that with the Porzingis one. Ultimately, that's where it was. I was going with the big men take. And I saw that nice take from Hostage State Curtis. But no, yeah, I think it's just ultimately just for Porzingis. So that's it, for the injury rest. That's all I want. I just want him back, Josh. He just makes such a difference to this team. Give him as much rest as we can. This team's not going to lose the rest, Josh. I think we're focused. We see the other two teams on the other side. We see the very winnable matchups. I think, even though I'm still, I was a little more scared of the Timberwolves. I can't lie. I'm kind of my points being proved wrong on that one. That's just another one where I was wrong. T-Wolves just not showing up in this one. I think T-Wolves are going to be a lot better, Josh. Yeah, they just disappointing.
Do you think? I mean, Hostage, who's been unbelievable in the chats right now. Do you see his? I think that's a lot to ask for Minnesota to extend it to 7. I think it goes 5. I really, at the most. I mean, I actually think Dallas closes it out tonight. But if they were to extend it, maybe they win 1 or 2. 2 is like pushing it. I think it's done tonight in Dallas. I do.
Yeah, I think ultimately. I think the T-Wolves win this one tonight. I think the T-Wolves win this one, but Dallas closes out the next one. I think they just get one over here. I think just Derek Lively out. They're going to take advantage of that. But as Hostages take it, that's going to be a little too much to ask. Minnesota extending to 7. I know he's talking about Cat being due.
The light's too bright here from Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, Cat was great on these previous series. He was a huge part of why they had a nice little lead against the Nuggets and everything. They built that series lead because he was playing well. He was shooting the 3 ball. He was spreading that floor, and they weren't able to stop him. They didn't have an answer for him. Him being on the outside just freed up Anthony Edwards to just drive as much as he wants, just dish it off to Gobert or just dunk it. So he's going Hollywood. We'll get some more comments on that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that one in a little, but ultimately, I think it's a good thought from Curtis on that one. But I can't see him extending to 7. I think it's just too much of a feat right now. I see him getting this one with the Lively injury. T-Wolves they're just too good of a team not to grab one. But I think ultimately they just go back and Kyrie and Luka just rain on the parade in Minnesota and just get a win on the road, celebrate over there, just like we did in Indiana. And it'll be Celtics Mavs, but yeah, no. I mean, if it goes to 7-2, Josh, all bets are off. Obviously, pretty hot take from me right there, but I would like to see that.
I have no problem with your take here. Another interesting one from Charlie. Kyrie being a leader is one of Ben's worst takes.
I love that from Chi. I love that. There we go. There we go. I can't. I mean,
Ben
I don't
doesn't
know
even want to speak on it.
That was a good take. I think that was a good take. You see him pumping up lively over there. He's getting. There we go. I like that. See, I like Curtis holding me to that. If you can hold me to my takes, we'll talk about that when it happens. I mean, that'll be a great little topic for us. That'll be some great content. We'll get definitely like 20 minutes out of the show for us right there, Josh. That'll be huge if it goes Game 7. But I don't know. I don't know about the beanbag Ron call. Beanbag Ron.
Ron.
Yeah,
I gotta save it. I gotta save it.
Let Josh do it.
I got to save it for the natural, but hey, I'll give Christopher a quick little moment here. Team KMS, they're on the bye week this week. I was listening to the show today. They get a nice little team dinner. The morale is up very high for Team KMS. They can get it done. Christopher, I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to say this to everybody. My main sentiment moving forward, until I am red in the face, until my lips turn purple. Who is going to be the third guy to step up for Team KMS? When that happens, they will win because they're playing in these games. I like their adjustments. They need to turn to someone else other than Kirk and other than Ron. Who's it going to be, Chris? I'm waiting for as long as you'll be waiting, as long as I'll be waiting. So I like the stuff from what I've heard from the group chat and from everything. I like from what I've heard in their practice they had on Saturday. Hopefully they can, get a nice win coming out of this bye week. But Ben, back to your point here, and just
bye weeks on that. That's pretty cool.
They got a bye week. They got a bye week this week. So hopefully I'll get some of that. Coleman, let's get those hamstrings ready for him to go. Need that big man down low. Got to play physical in the paint. I'll stress that as well. But to the Celtics and to the Mavs, I mean, my point, I was kind of just listening to a lot of talk shows, listening to a lot of people kind of debate, it's stupid. It's going to be not a dying product, but a lot of people, the hype's going to wear off. It's not like the Super Bowl where they can drag this out. I sort of agree with Ben. I wish it was a little quicker because I'm just excited. I want to see the Celtics in the finals, and I'm kind of just ready for this matchup, whether it be the Timberwolves, barring a miracle, or it is the Dallas Mavericks. Aside from that, I think it's great for both teams, Ben. Like you said, both teams are going to have some rust. It's been a week. It's not like one team's been the Celtics sit for 2 days longer than the Mavs if the Timberwolves do extend it. I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. I think for guys like Porzingis and even Luka Doncic is very hobbled right now. This Dallas Mavericks team has been banged up since that Clippers series, Ben. We've seen it. We know about it. And I think both of these teams could use the rest, whether it be the Timberwolves as well. I don't want to, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. So I will say that, but Jackson, I am not sure. I would love to go to one of the dinners, but I am not sure. I don't want to impose, but I would love to go to one. But hey, again, that's kind of for the team.
I don't want dinner.
No, I'm not trying to get free dinner. I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I'm all for the team. I want to get the best calls that I can. I don't want to step on any toes. But
I'm sure the Celtics bring out Maxwell and Grandy. I'm sure they bring those radio guys out too, Josh, for little dinners. You never know.
We'll see. But Jeff and Warren, hot take. Not Jeff and Warren. Jeff Warren. Hot take. The NBA is rigging the finals against the Celtics. It is $675 to get into a game one, and it goes up by like $300 a game. Seems like they're trying to take away home court advantage. Not feeling it.
I don't know. I don't think it's ever rigging us. It's just it's rooting for
A lot of people saying that. Big Cat, one of them.
Was Big Cat saying that? All right.
He was one of them saying not the hot take. He was one of them saying like wants it to kind of be a dual sweep so everybody can kind of laugh at the schedule. I do see people's I will say, Ben, I don't want to take too much time on the show to talk about, but I do see people's concerns or like frustrations with it because kind of want to keep the ball rolling type of thing. But
of course.
Beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
No, I totally get that. And I've already had a bunch of people come up to me and already stressing, with the couple of days that we're going to be without NBA. And it's It's tough, Josh, because we're getting up to that time in the summer where the sports are kind of drying out. So I think people get a little scared. People, football is away, hockey's away, basketball is going to be away. It's going to be baseball season, and no offense to baseball, but it's just a tougher time. It's just a tougher period for sports. So I think this is people getting a little antsy with that, Josh. That's why they get a little scared with the delay. But I wouldn't mind the dual sweep. Let's just get these series moving. I think after the 3-0 from the Mavs, everyone wants to see the Celtics Mavs series. Kyrie coming back. The storylines are already written. How's Luka going to do in his first finals? Can the Celtics get it done? Oh, wait. Oh, jeez. Listen, hey, we'll talk about that another other time. We can't talk about the bets. It is the French Open, so everyone go check out the French Open. Good tennis over there. Women's tennis, too, both sides.
Ben loves those.
They got to do both sides. Hey, you got to.
This is where he was doing a lot of scoreboard watching in his time. A lot of box score watching, if you know what I mean.
I was doing a lot of that, so it's shout out to the tennis world, shout out to the KMS2 basketball squad. Shout out to Josh and Jimmy announcing it. So we gotta give them. I want to give them a little due too. So get rested up on their bye, but I'll get back to the Mavs, Josh. I'll get back to the rest part. Ultimately, I don't mind. I don't mind it. I don't mind missing a couple days of basketball. Ultimately, just knowing this is it, Josh. So this is it, and we're gonna not have it for a while. So I don't mind savoring it for a little. I don't mind having a little break. We still got the NHL playoffs. So, Jeff, you didn't miss the.
Let's get a quick one. Then.
He didn't miss. It's a nice one. It's a nice one for my team, Ferrari. Charlie Leclerc finally didn't blow something. Won Monaco. It's pretty hard to lose Monaco when you're sitting on pole. So if he did that, be pretty disappointed. Even though I could see Ferrari doing something like that, but he won it, Josh. So Ferrari fans are happy. And that's pretty much it for F1 stuff I got from him on that one. A little nasty wreck in the beginning. A lot of Nico Hülkenberg getting after it. A lot of scraps. So that's probably going to be good for the Netflix series. But
big win for Ferrari there? They won it all?
No. It was just a good – they won that race. So it was just a nice one for the standings and everything. But Monaco, Charlie Leclerc from Monaco, so it's kind of a big deal for him. He's kind of come short in those races a little before, but whoever gets the pole position, Josh, pretty much wins the race. It's very hard to pass people in that very tight corners, very narrow over there. So it was just great for him, great for Ferrari. Great thing to build on for the season.
Race.
Yeah, okay. Nice little momentum one. And kind of good. Who was crying in the helmet, Jeff? Was he saying Leclerc was crying in the helmet? Because I don't think that's soft. I don't mind a little cry.
Oh,
Gosh, you gotta cry a little sometimes. You gotta get a little nice cry out. It's good for the emotions, good for the soul. So if that was for Leclerc, I don't mind that, Josh. But let's go Ferrari ultimately.
Let's go Ferrari. We've got another couple interesting things to talk about. I know you were talking about this a little bit earlier, but Ben, what's your Stanley Cup Finals looking like? I mean, I know I think I've 180. I think I'm going Dallas Stars, Florida Panthers. That's I know I said Dallas Rangers, but I think Dallas Stars, Florida Panthers. I mean, this team, they just limit teams to low shots, Ben. They're all in. We talk about Celtics being all in. Florida Panthers are all in, and I think they have a chance to win it all, Ben. That's my take. Quick take.
Yeah, I mean, Stars, they were, I think they were 0-15 when they were losing by 2 goals in the last 15 games. And they had a huge comeback last night against the Oilers, kind of just a gut-wrenching loss for them at home. You got that 2-0 lead. I know it's the most dangerous lead in hockey, but still, you think in Edmonton, just with Draisaitl and McDavid, those years aren't looming too many. Those glory years are looming right now, Josh. It's not looking too good. It's they're it was nice back in the day when they were young and they get out of these playoff series and they say we got many years to come, but those years are starting to dwindle, and they're starting to lose some of these glory years for both of them, and they got to do something right now, Josh, because it's not looking too good for them in the rest of the series. The Stars are looking like Robertson over there. They got a good little squad. Over there, and that was my pick. I had the Oilers. In the Stanley Cup against the Rangers. One half of that is looking good, but for the Western side, Josh, I think the Oilers just need to The Oilers just need to wake up, because if they choke this one away, I like that one from Chi. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Yes, I kind of like that. Maybe you can give a little something. Do you agree with that one? Oh, you agree? Oh, he likes the Cowboys. He's going to throw the Cowboys.
Oh, I was just they're the one I keep seeing. Like I listen to a lot of 105.3 The Fan. Quick little shout out to them in DFW. I'm always listening to them. So I like the Dallas Stars. I like the Mavs too. Of course, Celtics all the way. Bruins all the way. But they're always talking about the Rangers just won a championship last year. The Dallas Mavericks are on their way to a championship, and then the Dallas Stars are one game away from the championship. And the freaking Cowboys haven't been to the NFC Championship since before me and you were born. So just tough. And the Oilers are like the Celtics of hockey. That is a great take. They always screw it up. I mean, look at the band. That might be Charlie's best take of the show. Oilers are like the Celtics of hockey. It's so true. Draisaitl, McDavid. I know McDavid's kind of on a higher pedestal than Jason Tatum, but the two J's, it's the same thing. Can they finally get it done? I like that. I like that one a lot. They usually choke it. I mean, I'm surprised they got this far. We'll see. Anything can happen in hockey, but yeah. And Jeff, the Patriots are in a rebuild, and Dallas is just, they'll be lucky to get 9 wins this year.
Yeah, no, that Pats Cowboys Super Bowl, that's a little wishful thinking from Jeff on that one. That would have been crazy too. I didn't even really think of that Dallas, sort of Boston matchup. To be honest, I didn't even realize that was a big possibility over here. I was like, wow, they actually could probably line up with all these ones. Hopefully that car stops pretty soon. But ultimately, I guess I'm going to give in a little on that take. With the Oilers are like the Celtics of the hockey. I was resenting that one a little, but I think that's a good take from Chi on that one. I'm going to agree with him on that one. But Josh, for that other side, there we go. That's a good one from Jackson as well. But on the other side, he's giving it to the Panthers. I'm going to stick. The logical answer would say stick with the Panthers, but I'm going to go with the Rangers. I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to switch it up as in my revised one. Actually, no, screw it, Josh. I'm gonna stick with my thing. I think the Oilers take this series. I'm gonna stick with my takes. It was Oilers, Rangers, Stanley Cup. I'm gonna stick firm with it. I'm not gonna change it up, even though it's not looking good for the Oilers. But I think the Rangers, like as I was saying, it was logical for everyone to start betting on the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers had over 100 shot attempts. I've never seen that in a hockey game before. They had over 100 shot attempts in that. This past loss to the Rangers, they doubled the shot total. They were just peppering Shestegen. I can never get that right. Never get it right.
Got it.
I think I got it. I think I got decent, Josh. But he's just been, as me and you've said throughout the playoffs, that's our theme. That's our big motif for me and Josh is NHL playoff runs. It's just the goaltending. If you got a solid goaltender, you can win the cup. You can sort of make up for some of these the lack of areas of depth and sort of these positions where you're not as good at. He can sort of make that up. And you're seeing it with these Rangers. I mean, he's keeping them in these games. I know he let 4 goals, but I mean, over 100 shot attempts. They were just peppering him left and right. He was just keeping them in these games with constant saves. And they're helping him out on the back end with these OT wins and these clutch wins. The Rangers are just mustering up, again, these gritty wins that you need on these NHL sort of championship runs that we saw from the Bruins back then. So that was
Is
like,
that true?
Yeah, they had over 100 shots. They probably had like I think it was like 60 to 70 were on goal. 60 to 70 were on goal. They had like over 100 shots. Josh is gonna double check it. Listen, I swear.
Game 3, right? We're talking.
Yes, this past game, they lost 5-4. I swear, they got their shots for shots attempted. It's a crazy stat. Josh is gonna double check it, but I'm gonna stand firm on this one. I'm gonna stand firm. I remember seeing this one during the game. I was watching the game, for other reasons.
He's hammering this.
I'm hammering this one. I'm pretty sure it was. And we get to Kindra's point too. Where's Tyler and Jared at? I know Jared's probably still celebrating Josh Allen's birthday from last week. So shout out to Jared. Good luck with Keon Coleman. He's looking good over there. Him and CD Lamb, those guys are really tearing it up. Let's go. Not necessary shots of Josh, but I like that.
It's always like that.
Yeah, Josh is still looking for it. He'll find
still
it.
Looking for it. Here we go. He had 33 saves, 37 shot attempts, but I'm trying to find the official box score here.
There's something else. No, there's something.
I'm gonna go to ESPN. I'm not happy with that early indication.
We were watching the Celtics game, Jeff. So we were watching that one. Yes, thank you, Kindreth, to defending me. Yep, Jimmy's here, of course. Thanks for Jimmy being here, but thank you, Kindreth. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I've been working all day, so Josh can look it up, and that's not fake news. I saw that last night. I know. Listen, thanks. Jeff's backing me up on that one. I know. Yeah, I know. Shots attempts and shots on goal are completely different. Those are completely different stats. So I'm just looking for the shot attempts. I'm telling you, there was over 100 shot attempts for this guy.
I don't know about that one, Ben.
It's all right.
I'm trying to look, and I'm not seeing. All I'm seeing is shots on goal and save percentage. Let's take a look on. Let's really scour the internet right now. Let's go to stat news.
He's really scouring. He's trying to help me out, but into Chi's
100
point,
is a lot. We'll say.
Just as I said, it wasn't the Celtics score. I already answered that point from Chi. But no, I'm going to double up. I know Kindred's just doubled up on that one. I didn't lose it. There was 100 shot attempts. There was something like that. I'll die on this hill. We'll figure it out. If it's not this show, we figure it out. I'll figure it out for next show, and I'll have it for everybody. I'll have it. And I'll prove it to everybody. But like Jeff said, those are different stats, completely different. So I might be right still.
So all I can see is 37. The Florida Panthers took 37 shots in Game 3 of the 2024 Eastern Conference Finals against the Rangers on Sunday.
We'll look it up, or somebody will find it.
100. No, I'm pretty sure it says.
Somebody in the comments find it.
I need to figure out how to get this screenshot going. I hold on. Let's see if I can present. Look at this. We're teaching right now.
He's gonna go. He's got it.
Can you guys see this? Can the world
see? Here it is. I got it right here, Josh. I got it right here.
Let's see it.
Googled it. Just Google it. Just Google it, and you can show it. It was 108-43 in Game 3 in particular. The Panthers had a staggering 108-43 edge in shot attempts on the Rangers, but only had 37 shots on goal. They had 42 of their shots blocked, and another 29 missed the net completely.
Oh, Ben is right. Look at this.
There it is. Yep. Everybody better. Yep. See, Josh has got the technology going. Yep. See, right. Jeff gave me 2 inches. Me and Jeff had it at the same time. Ben's not going crazy. I told everybody that. That's why I said, Josh. I mean, listen, I remember that last night, and she and Jeff were right. We were watching the game, last night together. But when we got back after the Celtics victory, I was still, just watching a nice little NHL game. That's what's nice, having those little later games. And it was just tough. It was tough with that shot attempts. I just thought it was crazy. I just thought the graphic was messed up. I had never seen something like that. So I'm just glad I'm glad I was proven right, Josh. And there we go. Get that going for me. There we go, Jackson. Thank you.
At first, I was like, what the hell? I mean, I know the Panthers can light it up. They will erase you for shots, and they will light up the stat sheet for shots. Yeah. But then I'm thinking like 100. But it was weird. On the actual box score, it wouldn't let me just see that. It was just, yeah. So Ben is right. Other than that, great series. Just good hockey right now, Ben. I mean, weird stat, too, from last night's game. The Dallas Stars scoring 3 goals in exactly 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Kind of weird, trippy thing. But so, a a lot to kind of take away from that. We are going to turn things over to UFC in a second. But before we do that, Ben, let's just take a quick baseball second. Quick little baseball second here. I know earlier in the year, let's do a quick little divisional. We'll do, now that I figured out this screen share thing, we can abuse this, but we'll do a quick little divisional.
Learn on the fly. Here. Josh has got this.
We're learning on the fly here, Ben.
He's got this.
Quick little thing. Let's just quickly here. This is the American League East standings. I mean, right now you see the Yankees up top, but a dogfight with the Orioles and the Red Sox, Ben, since we last talked, hovering around 500. Early thoughts, Ben. Super, super early in the season. So.
This is what they're going to do, Josh. This is perfectly set from you on that tail end. It's just hovering around 500 for us. I thought it was going to be different, a little different, taking 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals and even sweeping the Rays, even though they've been struggling. That pitching for the Rays has not been up to that standard that we've seen over the past couple of years. Obviously, seeing them dip even below us, and the Blue Jays just stink. I call that one. Blue Jays were going to be last. Pretty sure I said that. 98% sure I said that one, so I just want to throw that little one in there. But it's just for the Red Sox, it's just going to be another average year. I don't think we're at that level of the Orioles and Yankees. Hate to say the Yankees, but as we always do, we got to give Josh his roses for that. No, I won't take that bet, Jeff. I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take that bet, even though it'll be a little easier. Maybe I'll talk to you later about that. But I think the Red Sox right now, it's just the injuries are piling up. Two of the top hitters don't have. It's just the pitching has been a little better, but it just hasn't been enough to get us there. And like I said, we've been seeing some of these just inconsistencies with them. Sweep the Rays, and then you just get beat down by the Orioles, and we're just not at that level of some of these other teams over there. I'd like to see playoff run. I think it's definitely possible, but I think ultimately we're just going to be another 500 team, Josh. It's just injuries are catching up with us a little too much at the moment. Obviously, Trevor Story's been out for a little while. I just want to shout out that again. I mean, Trevor Story never really here, but a little tough one right now. Don't know what they're doing. Josh, they winning right now, or the Red Sox?
Right now, what did I just do? The Red Sox at this very moment are up 4-3 against the Orioles. So
there we go. See, let's go.
This would be the middle game of that series. And again, I think here we go with Jeff. Sox are overperforming, and the Yankees are going to blow that lead. I mean, it's going back to the standings, right? It is a dogfight. I mean, I actually didn't even realize that the Yankees are a game and a half again ahead of the Orioles. I mean, I'd like a little bit of help from the Red Sox tonight.
You guys are on a tear, Josh. I mean, you guys are on that 7-game winning streak.
Oh, for sure. 7-game win streak. I mean, they've been great. 7-3 out of their last 10. Playing very well on the road and at home. Just looking at the Yankees, though, Ben, it's like just like Jeff said. I mean, it's put up or shut up time. I'd like to see them, acquire something. Again, we have a couple months. We're going to be talking a lot of baseball, or a little bit more baseball in the season. But again, baseball time right now.
You got everything, Josh. You got everything. You got Soto. Oh man.
We do. But I think, let me just slow it down. I think what they need to do is I think, a hot take here, I think they need to have an everyday third baseman. DJ LeMahieu coming back hurt. I don't know. I think at some point we need to be done with him. I like Juan Soto, but again, you see teams like the Dodgers, they're going all in. I love the Juan Soto thing. He's the top of my list, but maybe go out, get a couple more arms for the bullpen. Pitching's been good, but I couldn't agree with Jeff anymore. I think this Red Sox team, I wouldn't say overperforming, but they're going to be hovering around 500. They're going to be flirting with the playoffs all season. I'm going to have a bold take. I'm going to say that they don't make the playoffs. I don't know if that's bold, but bold enough for me. And this is kind of your Red Sox right here. I can let me see. Here we go. This is your Red Sox games. These are the games that they will be playing. The Orioles series, Tigers, Braves, White Sox, Phillies. Then it goes the Yankees. So
let's go.
Little stretch there.
Come on. Yeah, I mean, we got to take advantage. I'm not too sure. I mean, you got to take advantage of those Tigers series. And yes, Kendrick, I'm a Red Sox fan. It's Boston, everything else except football. Just got the football is just a little different for me, but Boston, everything else. But yeah, for the Red Sox, just ultimately, you got to take those games against the Tigers. I see a split in that series. That'd just be typical Red Sox for us. We need a series like that. And then the Braves, we played them well earlier in the series, earlier in the year.
For sure.
I'd like to see a little better fight out of them. And hey, just a little baseball too, a little baseball talk, Josh. I mean, Chris Sale, talk about rejuvenation over there. I mean, it's just perfect for him. I'm not over the moon for him, Josh. He was a good player for us. He helped us win a World Series, but he also had some antics and injury prone. I didn't really like over there, but it's just good to see him getting a great start over there. I mean, that's just a perfect fit. A team that's ready to win now, even though Acuna just went down. That's going to be a huge blow for them.
Huge loss.
Yeah, but I mean, Chris Sale, last time I checked, he was like 7-1. 2.2 ERA. He was over 50 strikeouts already. He was fanning guys. He was getting back to his old self, and he was just sort of, that sort of staple in that Braves rotation they need after, I believe, Spencer Strider. I believe Spencer Strider went down for the year.
Huge loss.
So replacing that. Yeah, replacing that guy, he's helping fill that role. So, just good to see Chris Sale find a nice little place for him, and I think that's a perfect fit for him over there in Atlanta, but
that's tough. Right when you deal him, he starts to play well. Tough.
Listen, it's not the fit. Jeff's just being a troll with that one. It wasn't the fit anymore with us, Josh. He wouldn't be having this year. We don't have the bats. Yeah, we don't have the bats like Atlanta has. We don't have the bullpen like they have. They're just better than us right now, and he needed to go to a team that's going to win right now and could use another arm in that rotation. And I mean, like I said, if Strider didn't go down, that rotation would be even more elite. So, just showing you that depth they have over there. So, early World Series prediction, I like that from Jackson so far. I like that one. It's tough because I really don't want to give it to the Yankees, but I'll go. We go Orioles, Dodgers. Just throw the Dodgers.
I'm gonna go Yankees, Dodgers, but Orioles. I think it'll be Red Sox and the Orioles. He
just said the Red Sox.
It will be the Yankees and the Orioles in the ALCS.
Nice. Nice little ALCS. I like that one, Josh. I like that one.
Of course. Shout out Mudstack. Dropping this Friday, baby. Shout out my guy Mud.
Shout out Mudstack. Let's go.
Shout out Mudstack. Hey, we've got just about under 10 minutes left in the show. Let's wrap things off here with a nice, huge pay-per-view if you're a Poirier fan like me, if you're a Diamond Maniac, whatever you want to call it. This is not that good of a thing. So we're gonna go back. We are gonna abuse this screen sharing thing. And I'll show you guys this. We've got some interesting cards here. We'll go down the card here. We'll start. But Ben, just looking at this, I know James said he wasn't crazy about it. You're more into the UFC than you know. Holland's going to be on this card. The co-main event, not co-main event, but the match before the main event. I'll give it the co-main event title. Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa. Nice, interesting fight. And, of course, Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Huge fight.
Your guy.
Your thoughts on this, though, Ben?
Yeah, it's Jimmy wasn't too crazy about this one, but I like it. I'm just a big UFC guy, for other purposes as well. But anytime you get Islam fighting, you gotta watch it. And like you just mentioned, this co-main event's good, and you got some other ones over here. Johnson, I'm interested in seeing how Johnson Almeida can bounce back from that Curtis Blades KO. He kind of got exposed. I know I was a big Johnson guy. I thought he was going to change that heavyweight division. But got exposed pretty bad by Curtis Blades. When if you can't sit on you the whole time or submit you pretty early, then Jalton kind of fades. So I'm interested to see if he upped his cardio, did a little better with his endurance and just sort of fighting. And Romanov just had a nice little win last time against not so good guy, but he was a big prospect. Josh, he was undefeated. Then he got beat down pretty bad by Volkanovski. Actually, not Volkanovski. Excuse me, by Volkov. Only threw one punch in that one. It's kind of embarrassing. One of the worst fights I've ever seen from somebody. So I'm interested to see this kind of just dynamic between these two, who can bounce back and who can sort of get their careers back on trajectory and being one of the top heavyweights over there. Randy Brown too, right over there, Josh. That's Randy Brown's going to win that one, but that's going to be an interesting one to see him fight a little veteran over there. Kopilov, that's another good one too, Josh, in the prelims. That guy can throw down, going against a nice little undefeated prospect in Almeida. So maybe this one's littered, Josh, but ultimately, I think it's your boy. I think this is the only reason I'm going to be watching for it. And we'll get to that Strickland one too. I'll preview that one a little too. But I think ultimately it's your boy. It's Dustin. Islam. You gotta watch Islam. He's must-watch TV. And he's just gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. Don't back Poirier. I know Josh will. It's just about to. It's about just deciding what he's gonna do. Is it gonna be? I think it's gonna be submission. Is he gonna knock him out? I see him submitting him. I think he's just too good, Josh, right now for him. He's just too good for Poirier. Great fight last time. He made me eat my money, money in my mouth. My words, I should say. Got that phrase wrong, but Poirier is just a vet. He's going to take down a guy like Saint Denis that's never fought anybody. But when it comes to this elite talent, it's going to be too much, Josh. So I know you're going to back your boy, but I'd avoid that one.
It's a tough one. I know you're kind of just talking about that Sean Strickland fight, I should say, not WWE. Interesting one. I mean, I believe it was James who was the one who put me on to showing that Sean Strickland's numbers are better than Sean O'Malley's. I know a lot of people talking about Sean O'Malley being kind of that next star. His ratings, his draw is kind of bigger. So that's a nice little interesting thing to watch out for there. Paulo Costa, I've seen this fighter a lot. More familiar with Sean Strickland's game. I'm going to take Sean Strickland, number one ranked fighter in the middleweight division. I'll take him in that. Kevin Holland, I got to go him. I mean, I know he fought my guy MVP last fight. Kind of was a little disappointing to a lot of people. But again, I got to go with Kevin Holland in that. And it is a daunting task. It is Ivan Drago versus Rocky here for Dustin Poirier. I mean, you see, just looking at Islam. I mean, it is really tough. This guy is a submission machine. I mean, he is the closest thing to Khabib Nurmagomedov that we're ever going to see. And I know Dustin has fought against him. This fight, I mean, you see the odds. I know we don't talk too much gambling on the show. We try to stay away from that. But this is a serious, I cannot stress this anymore, underdog story here if Dustin Poirier was to get the win here. Hey, I will say, since I've been watching UFC, I have seen a couple, in the women's division, I'm blanking on their names. There's been a couple, I don't know if it was Grasso. Somebody was on a huge
Grasso was one.
Huge underdog. Here we go. So my knowledge is decent, but this fight for Poirier is uphill battle here, Ben. I think he'll. Again, I'm always going to take Poirier. That's what I'm going to do. Ben knows I'm always going to bet for him. I can't bet against him, but if he is to lose, and most likely will, I think he'll keep it a little interesting, and a win for him would be to go to decision. Like I'm giving Islam that much credit here. I mean, Dustin does not fare well with the submission artists. Look at Charles Oliveira. Look at Khabib in the past. I know he's coming off that big win, but this is a different animal we're talking about here. Unfortunately, again, my gut says no, but I'm feeling okay for this fight. I think Dustin, all it takes is that one knockout. He has that knockout power. Just be aggressive on the attack and do not slip up. You do not want to get caught up in a clinch. You do not want to grapple with this guy. So avoid the cage and just try and hope for the best for a knockout, Ben. But interesting card here. I know James is kind of poo-pooing it. I know some of these guys here. Not every card is going to be like UFC 300 for me, but I know Sean Strickland. I know Kevin Holland. I know Islam, Dustin, of course. I know Walton, Almeida. I know Dos Santos there. So it'll be a decent fight. Looking forward to this one, and hopefully,
they got enough fights.
Poirier can get it.
Yeah, they got enough fights to interest me, Josh. It's like you said, perfectly said right there. It's just not every fight's going to be like 299, 300. Some of these stack cards that we've seen. It's not going to be like that every time. You're going to get these couple good ones at the top. Islam, Poirier, Strickland versus Costa. That one, like I said, that one's a little more. I didn't really give my full take on that one. Strickland, I think he's going to win that one pretty decisively. Costa's just been inconsistent, been a pretty big talent, and it really came to fruition over there. So I'm just interested to see how Strickland fights after 2 title fights. So he's back to sort of just defending his ground and being the number 1 contender. So let's see how he bounces back from that one. But yeah, Josh, I don't mean to keep poo-pooing on the parade for you, but Poirier just this one isn't it. Saint Denis, like I said, he hasn't been fighting the best competition. Poirier's takedown defense was enough to stop Saint Denis. He wasn't. He was good at takedowns, but not as good. Not that much better than Poirier's takedown defense. Poirier was able to sort of withstand that. And, obviously, St. Denis wanted to, stand and bang with him, and it's Poirier's wheelhouse. If he's one of the best brawlers in the UFC, and that's the UFC's ever seen. So, dude's tough as hell. He's got great chin on him, and he's going to go toe-to-toe with anybody. So that was a bad move for St. Denis. Like I thought St. Denis should have just kept going with the takedowns, just try to keep forcing it, and then had a little success in it in the beginning. And, Poirier had some good takedown defense, but I think he should have just withstood it there. But ultimately, Josh, I think Islam's going to take this one. He's going to submit him. Poirier's takedown defense isn't going to be able to withstand Islam for that long. So it's going to be a good card, though, Josh. I think everybody should tune into this one. That fight alone is going to get us there.
Oh, for sure. Nice little card. I know they got a nice little fight night. This interesting. I mean, Kindreth here. We got a couple minutes on the show. I mean, I'll go quick here, Ben. I know this isn't sports related, but we're going to wrap up in a second, so I'll turn it over to Ben, as I always do. But serious question. I have a serious question. Who would win in a rap battle, Eminem or Jay-Z? It's bothering me. 100% Eminem. I mean, he's one of the best lyrical artists of all time. In my opinion, probably the best lyricist of all time. I know some people want to say Tupac. Some people want to say Biggie. Some people even say Lil Wayne. I think Eminem would annihilate Jay-Z, but in a rap battle. I don't think that's Jay-Z's game, but that's just me. And again, shout out to the Celtics. They're getting there. Finally, looking for that Banner 18, Ben. We'll have some more time to kind of debrief and talk about that because, again, they're not going to be playing until about June 6th, so maybe a little bit after. Again, want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in. I'm going to leave it to this. Shout out Team KMS. Let's go. Bye week. Let's regroup, battle back. And, again, thank you to everybody for tuning in. And shout out the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, shout out to KMS. Go get that rest. Go get ready for the next game over there. But yeah, I just want to echo that from Josh too. Shout out to everybody. Jackson, Hostage Take Curtis, Charlie, Jeff, everybody over there. They've been killing it for us in the comments. So shout out to all of them. And I want to give a little shout out to Jackson too. We'll be trying to talk a little cricket and everything, but ultimately end with this. Give me Jay-Z.